What's up guys, it's Endymion, and in today's potential video series, I want to cover some of the real-world inspirations behind the world of From Software's latest epic, and how certain outside works from prominent artists helped influence the world and the characters of the lands between. This particular video will cover one specific piece. As you'll see, there's a lot to unpack with this single painting in terms of what it could spell for Elden Ring's future. And now, let's begin. So I want to talk about the fearsome Empyrean known as Miquella the Unalloyed. Miquella is one of the most debated about and elusive characters within Elden Ring because we never actually fully see or face Miquella in his entirety. Of course, we can find him within the depths of Mogwyn Palace in his cocoon during Mohg's boss fight. And the shape of Miquella's cocoon as well as his arm looks weirdly similar to a painting from 1943 by a prominent Spanish artist. That artist in question is Salvador Dali, who's known for his extremely bizarre, almost nightmarish depictions of existence, who uses his talents to paint surreal showcases of life that are both beautiful and horrifying in equal measure. The painting in question for this video is this. And I think upon seeing it, you can already see the blatant connections. This painting is called Geopoliticus Child Watching the Birth of the New Man. This painting is considered to be one of Dali's most famous works, and when asked to explain what it meant, Dali only gave single-word answers in return. He described it as a parachute, placenta, earth distortion, Catholicism, and a biological eclipse. Interesting. When looking at the painting, we can see the central figure is the new man emerging from a white egg, while the child and adult watches on in awe as the man pulls himself into existence. The obvious one arm leaking out of an egg-like cocoon is clearly a direct reference to Miquella's single appearance within Elden Ring. We know that Miquella was considered to be the most powerful Empyrean of all, according to Malenia, his twin sister. And Miquella was born of a single god, and his powers were so incredible that he was able to charm masses of people into worshipping him, and even created his own Halig tree where Miquella rested in its womb so he could overcome his eternal youth so he could grow up and save millennia from her rot. The new man in Salvador Dali's painting also has another reference in plain sight as well. The golden stains on the outside of the egg, which again connects to Miquella since Miquella was known for his unalloyed gold, is that the markings on the new man's egg are actually the continents of the world. We see South America as well as Europe, where the new man's single Miquella-like arm is grasping onto, and the new man seems to be emerging, geographically anyway, from the location of North America. In my own interpretation of this painting, the new man emerging from the egg is a metaphor of the superpower the United States of America would become, and the single arm resting on Europe seems to signify that the new man is America itself and the egg is the world. And basically this whole painting is about how America will influence the broader world and shape a new era. This reference to Elden Ring seems to connect in that with Miquella emerging from his cocoon, now clearly older since his single arm is much longer than that of his childlike form, which can be seen in the beginning credits, seems to confirm that Miquella, like the United States, will emerge and usher in a new era of power the likes the world has never seen before. The child in Salvador Dali's painting is also called the Geopoliticus Child, which seems to further signify that this child references the political and international awe of the global community as it witnesses the birth of the untainted or unalloyed united strength of America in the wake of the colonization of the continent by the British and French. And if I may dive deeper into how this connects to Elden Ring, the adult that the child is holding onto is also gender ambiguous, as they look both like a man and woman, similar to that of Marika and Radagon, who are both the same being but are also different genders. In terms of Dali's work, I see this gender ambiguous adult represent both Britain and France, two powerful nations of a single continent or a single god, combining their powers to give birth to a new chaotic strength in the form of America that will quickly become so powerful that not even the creators of America could hope to stop its ascension, or as Malenia would put it when she says Miquella is the most fearsome Empyrean of them all. The emergence of Miquella from his cocoon spells not only a shift in power within the lands between, but a new era, as we know Miquella was able to create artifacts like Miquella's Needle, which was able to sever the connection between someone and an outer god. Something thought to be borderline impossible to do, but showcases just how powerful Miquella can and will inevitably become in the future, like America itself. This painting and its connection to Miquella, as well as the broader concepts of Elden Ring at this point, are pretty apparent. But not only does this painting tell the story of the modern world as we know it, but it ties the events of Elden Ring in such a profound way that it seems Miquella will become the most prominent character in the future of the franchise and could usher in his own age beyond that of America and the Greater Will, whether the Outer Gods want it to happen or not. To close, I want to just point out too that the lands between could be seen as North America itself, and the overthrowing of rulers from the ancient dragons before the reign of the Greater Will could be Miyazaki making a connection between how the Europeans came and colonized the Pure Lands of North America from the Native Americans so they could rule over the land instead. And the genocide of the Native Americans by the Europeans as they quickly spread across the land could be a direct influence for Miyazaki when creating the story of Elden Ring. The way the Greater Will sends the Elden Beast and chooses a ruler in the form of America who really isn't much different in modern times to that of a prime minister or a president chosen by a governmental body and its people to oversee the will of their masters, or Greater Will in Elden Ring's case, is both interesting to look at and gives new perspective to the events of Elden Ring when looked through a modern, tarnished lens. The emergence of the new man and its direct connection to not only the visual depiction but the lore implications of what Miquella could eventually become are some of the most interesting finds I have found so far in my time with Elden Ring. So what do you think of these connections? Do you guys want me to dive deeper in videos like this one? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like what you saw, consider subscribing to give my life meaning and maybe join my Patreon for $1 a month to help support my channel. Thank you. And as always, thanks to my current patrons for all their support as well. It means a lot. And I'm Endymion. I'll see you in the next one.